In the lecture, we see that we have included the headers, leaflet, bootstrap, jQuery, and jQuery UI files in our web map, and there was no error. So now we load our leaflet, initiate our first base map. So I'll go to the leaflet. Actually, I'll close these things. I'll search for leaflet. I go to here, to the docs, and the map element, because we want to create a map, and it's saying that's the how you can create a map. Then l dot map, and you need a map div. Okay, so let's first create a map div. Sublime text inside the body. We'll have two div. One div will contain the map, and another div will contain the sidebar. I'll come to the portion of sidebar later. So I'll create the div first. Div, this is on div. Okay, and sorry, and this is another div. So this div will contain the sidebar. So I'll call it ID. I'll give it an ID sidebar, and I will assign it to some bootstrap classes. And I'll be giving it class called MD medium spread. And for our map div, I'll call it my map. Maybe I'll call it map div. So it will contain our map, and I'll give it a class called MD12. Okay, so it will have a full width, and after that we'll initiate our leaflet. And as I said that leaflet is a JavaScript library, so you need to write all the leaflet code inside your script tag. So I will initiate my script here inside the body. You can also create that outside the body. It's completely okay. And from here, we'll see that how to initiate the map on our web map. So it is saying that var map l.map. After that, this map element, center and zoom. So the question is l.map. L stands for leaflet, so leaflet.map. So documentation says that it instantiates a map object given a DOM, the document object model ID of a div element, and optionally an object literal with map options. So this the first one is the ID of a document object model or a HTML element. And after that, it will have some options to render the map. So this map is an ID of an HTML element. So, and these are the options. Options, it says that option with and optionally an object literal with map options. So this is an object. I have shown you the object in JavaScript, so it is following the format of an object. Okay. So what we'll do, we'll copy this chunk of code and we'll paste it inside our map. So let's do that. Okay. Facing this kind of indentation problem, what you can do in Sublime Text, Control Shift and then press the V. So it will have proper indentation. Control Shift and after that V. So here map l.map map. Actually, our map element is called map div. So I'll change that to map div. Okay. And I'll call our map my map, not only map, my map. I'll call that to my map. And finally, so this is our map div, and we add a base layer. So we have included the map or start the map div. Now we need to add a base layer to view our map. And how we can do that? We will again go to the Leaflet documentation and empty now our web map. There is nothing and no error also here. So we'll go to our Leaflet documentation, and here the tile layer, raster layer, tile layer. We will click here and see that it's just example. So you can add any tile layer. So actually I'll copy this on. It is OpenStreetMap. I'll copy that, and what I'll do, I'll include that right here into my script tag. I'll paste it, and maybe give it a name. Say here open map. Okay. Actually, I do not need this whole chunk of code. So I'll get rid of this. And maybe I include another option here called max zoom. Will be working that max zoom. The maximum zoom level I will assign is to 23. And I will add it directly through map, but our map element has been named as my map. So I change that and say that to my map and save it. And now try to refresh our map. Okay, no value for variable foo. Let's see what's the problem. Okay, let's remove that, save that, and now refresh it again. So there is no error, and also there is no map here. But if you see closely, there is something very tiny here. So actually, we need to set our CSS styles for it to show it on the full screen. So let's do that. So we create an external CSS file and save it as styles.css, and we'll include that inside our header. So I'll include that inside our header, save it, and here our map element called map div. So this is the ID. So I'll attach this ID here, map div, and I will give it an height, 100% of vertical height. Okay. So whatever the skin size is, it will automatically fit the 100% of the vertical height. Now let's load it. So you see, this is our first web map. And now we have a web map. We have a map on our screen from our basemap layer. This is the OpenStreetMap. And we have our zoom in and zoom out. And you can also change the center. So actually, I will be using the data from Dhaka City. I will set my coordinates to Dhaka City. Actually, I know my coordinates that I want to use, but you can get your coordinate from Google Map. Just click your coordinates. You can just click. You can just right click. You can just right click and copy your coordinates. Okay, it's completely okay. So I'll copy these coordinates and I'll paste it here. I'll paste it here. Okay, maybe I do not need this much decimal places. 5 decimal places will be good enough for me. And I'll have a zoom level up to 12, the default zoom level. Let's save that. And now let's refresh it again. Now the map has been set to Dhaka City. And if I refresh it again and again, it will automatically set to that place. So this is the very first beginning of Leaflet. Here we have learned that how we can initiate a map object and how we can add a base layer. And from the next lecture, we'll start developing from this point. Okay. So let's see you in the next lecture.